No one expected that, quietly, the most unexpected figure within the BTS circle would become the key to an internal crisis that could forever alter Jin's career trajectory, his own mother. In a highly surprising development, several pieces of evidence and confessions from industry insiders suggest that Jin's mother secretly took steps directly opposing the decisions of BIGHIT Music, steps that were not just a symbol of personal defiance, but also a signal of major changes in the control over Jin's image and creative direction moving forward. What exactly happened, and why could this action become a turning point in the relationship between the artist, his family, and the Korean entertainment industry? The tension began with the mysterious project titled Echo, which has yet to be officially revealed by BIGHIT Music, but has already garnered widespread attention due to Jin's sudden presence in Japan. However, what shocked the public wasn't just Jin being overseas, but the fact that his mother, without announcement and without official escort, followed to the same country just days later. Independent investigations by fan communities revealed that Jin's mother's trip was undertaken without BIGHIT's knowledge, a company known for tightly controlling the movements of its artists and their families. This quiet move immediately raised major questions. Was this merely a private visit, or a deliberate act to intervene in Jin's project? Several industry analysts have suggested that Jin's mother's presence in Japan was not coincidental but a response to internal BIGHIT policies that the Jin family did not approve of. According to circulating information, there was a sharp disagreement between Jin's family and the management regarding the creative direction of Echo, particularly concerning how much Jin's private life would be exploited for the project. The tension reached its peak when reports emerged that Jin's mother had refused BIGHIT's request to sign a privacy waiver related to documentation involving her family. Sources close to the process stated that Jin's mother felt BIGHIT had overstepped in using Jin's personal life for commercial purposes. This stance triggered a strong reaction from within the agency, but on the other hand, it also sparked waves of public support from those who had long felt that BIGHIT was too dominant in controlling its artists. What made the situation even more complex was Jin's own absence in providing clarification. Since news of his presence in Japan first broke, no official statements had been issued, either through the agency or Jin's personal accounts. This silence created a vast space for speculation. Many believed that Jin himself might be under pressure, caught between loyalty to his agency and a desire to respect his mother's stance, who now stood as a symbol of protection over his personal identity. The public began to dig deeper into Jin's interactions with his mother in various interviews and live broadcasts over the years. It became clear that Jin greatly respected and involved his mother in major decisions in his life. It was no surprise then that when his mother took a firm stand against BIGHIT, many believed that this action could not have been made without Jin's support or consent. This raised a new question. Was Jin quietly charting a new path that was more independent from his agency? BIGHIT Music, which is usually quick to handle rumors and viral news, chose to remain completely silent. No denials, no clarifications. Even in their most recent investor forum, the issue of the Echo project and internal dynamics with the artist were not mentioned at all. This silence was taken as an indirect acknowledgement that there was a more serious internal conflict than just a creative difference. Korean media referred to this phenomenon as silent resistance, a new dynamic in the entertainment industry showing that the families of artists were beginning to play a more active role in protecting their children's personal integrity from commercial exploitation. Furthermore, this event reignited the long-standing debate over artists' rights to their personal narratives. In an industry so structured and controlled by large agencies like HYB labels, Jin and his mother's case became a rare example of defiance carried out not by the artist directly, but by their family, and its impact could be profound. If Jin and his mother succeeded in preventing BIGHIT from commercializing sensitive personal aspects, it could set an important precedent for other artists under major management who often face similar dilemmas. However, like many cases in the Korean entertainment world, transparency is not the norm. As of now, there has been no confirmation regarding the existence of the Echo project, Jin's mother's role in it, or the legal consequences of her refusal to sign the privacy document. But one thing is clear, Jin and his family are shaking the foundations of the narrative power that has long been unchallenged in the Korean idol industry. And if this truly is an act of defiance against BIGHIT's dominance, then not only will the Echo project shift its direction, this could mark the beginning of Jin's transition toward full creative control over his career, and it could simultaneously create a new model for other artists to redefine their relationship with agencies. Now, the public can only wait. But one important lesson has already been imparted. Even in a world controlled by corporate giants, a mother can be the game changer that changes everything. Continued article: Jin's mother secretly defies BIGHIT, and it forever alters his career. However, before the public jumps to conclusions too far, there's one fundamental aspect that must be addressed. How accountable is this information to objective scrutiny? As the narrative of Jin's mother's silent defiance against BIGHIT spread virally across social media, we must ask, is this a fact that has been credibly verified, or is it simply a constructed narrative designed to generate sensationalism? It must be emphasized that most of the information circulating comes from social media platforms such as TikTok, Twitter, X, YouTube, and several ARMY community forums. These sources are highly varied, with levels of credibility that are not always guaranteed. A critical question arises. If an internal conflict truly exists between Jin's family and BIGHIT, why has no mainstream media in South Korea covered it officially? Is it because of industry pressure? Or perhaps because there is no concrete evidence that can be reported legally? Moreover, many pieces of content supporting this narrative rely on weak visual evidence. Low-quality airport CCTV footage, screenshots of emails or flight tickets, without confirmation, and speculation based on high likelihood. This is where reflective thinking becomes crucial, because without confirmation from the truly relevant parties, either BIGHIT or Jin himself, the public is only being presented with possibilities, not certainties. We invite readers and viewers to pause for a moment and ask, do you truly believe that a mother can intervene significantly against an agency as powerful as BIGHIT without facing legal consequences or an official statement? Is it possible that this is a viral narrative created to boost the popularity of the Echo project itself, which, to this day, has not been formally confirmed? These questions are not meant to reject the possibility, but to ensure that our opinions are not shaped solely by fleeting emotions and collective euphoria. We also need to consider the possibility that all of this, Jin's departure, his mother's presence, BIGHIT's silence, has been carefully orchestrated as part of a highly structured marketing strategy. It's undeniable that the Korean entertainment industry has a long history of managing sensations, mysteries, and personal narratives of its artists to generate public attention. If that's the case, then we as consumers of information need to be smarter than ever before. Are we being used as viral distribution tools? Or are we witnessing a real conflict that has been silenced by corporate power? In this post-truth era, it's easy for anyone, including alternative media, to build trust simply with narratives that appeal to emotional sides. Therefore, we emphasize again that all information in this article is based on a series of observations of social media, community comments, and unofficial reports. None of it can be considered strong evidence until confirmed directly by the parties involved. This is where your role as a reader becomes very important. Do you feel this news makes sense? Do the arguments presented have a logical basis, or are they based merely on assumptions and coincidences? Is this a new way for the entertainment industry to personalize narratives and invite emotional engagement from the public? Or is this a reflection of a cultural shift where artists and their families begin to take control from agencies? Such questions need to be asked, not only to uncover the truth, but to prevent us from becoming victims of false information packaged with dramatic flair. On one hand, it may be true that Jin's mother is fighting the line between personal life and commercial exploitation of her son. However, on the other hand, it is very possible that all of this is a clever script designed to attract global attention to Jin's next project. Therefore, we invite you not just to read, but also to observe, analyze, and critique. Don't stop at emotional reactions. Don't get trapped in a narrative that has already been shaped. Look deeper into the power dynamics between the artist and the agency and ask yourself, who benefits most from this story?
Jin?
BIGHIT, or the media and algorithms spreading it? This is the time for us as the digital public to be more discerning and reflective. When every click, comment, and post can shape public perception, our moral